welcome to House Podcaster. My name is Joel Henderson. With me on these weekly sessions about television, Jeremy Vasaitis.
Hello.
We're kind of experimenting with new mics here, so it's a little iffy, and we're trying to make sure to blow them out.
Talk at normal volumes, because usually we are yelling at each other.
We're normally yelling all the time, and it sounds like shit to you, the listener. So we only have your best interest at heart, and we bring to you today's episode, Mockingbird.
Yeah. Do you know what that is in reference to?
I mean, I'm aware of the Mockingbird song.
Mm-hmm. You mean Eminem Mockingbird? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the one that Eminem's Mockingbird is a spin-off of, the lullaby.
No. Mockingbird is Baelish's sigil.
Okay. I didn't realize he had a sigil, if I'm
did?
being honest. I didn't realize that he deserved one. I thought
He made his own. There was a whole scene about it between him and Cersei.
Do you think it's possible that he ends up like in any like real position of power long term?
I mean, dude, if you ask me, he is one of the most powerful people there is.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get any bigger than Lord Peter Baelish.
I mean, he's been manipulating things from the very beginning.
He's been doing it all the way since his time on The Wire.
Okay. Never seen it, but that's all right.
Okay, so where does this episode start? This is season 4, episode 7.
Right.
I don't know if you can see our wonderful Game of Thrones set here. If you're listening, basically that's a big fuck you. But yeah, we have this nice set, the setup here.
It's a.
I've got a little Tyrion.
Book.
I have a little Tyrion in King's Landing. And yeah, we have a little pop-up book with the Wall and Winterfell and Eerie, which is relevant to we're right here today, aren't we?
Spent some time up there.
A little bit at the Wall
in here.
Okay, well, we seem to have all the right sets for today.
Yeah.
So take us to the beginning. Where do we start?
We'll open up with like almost immediate aftermath of the trial. The last episode is Jaime and Tyrion talking in Tyrion's cell.
See, I didn't get that was right after. I figured it was after, but
I don't. Maybe not directly after, but like it's the aftermath of the trial.
Definitely the fucking aftermath.
We can just see it, him saying basically, "Dude, you blew it. You I had you set up for a deal, and you screwed me here. There's nothing I can do now to help you."
Yeah, and
Tyrion's basically, what? That was a deal? You're gonna, I got to go spend the rest of my life on the Wall for a crime I didn't commit? Forget that.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically, I think he looked at it as Jaime taking the easy way out after losing his hand, and, he was always going to be the fucking prodigal son. Give me a break.
Still might not end up that way, but...
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that he gets his happily ever after, but I feel like he's a character that's just like oozing with redemption, and eventually it's going to come around to him.
Well, they go back and forth about that, and then Tyrion throws a nice little insult out there. Says, you're always the golden son. You'll always be perfect. You can kill a king, lose your hand, and fuck your own sister.
Yeah.
And you're still the golden son. He basically said, watch it.
Yeah, I mean, but...
I'm your only friend here.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks that that's going to cause him to lose a friend. I don't know. I just feel like at that point that's such an open thing. It's so clearly obvious to everybody that he should be used to those kind of digs.
Right.
Jaime should. He shouldn't be like that to his brother after all the shit that he knows that the way this is playing out is not the fucking just way for it to play out.
Oh, Jaime knows.
And whether he fucks his sister or not.
If he doesn't know that, then he's really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think he clearly does. I think that's why he's trying to be fair to...
he's trying to get Tyrion so he doesn't get killed.
Yeah, he's trying to help his brother out. He loves his brother.
Spare his life in whatever shape or form.
Who knows if it's somehow selfishly motivated. I'm sure it is, like everything is in this show.
Well, everybody's selfishly motivated by something. Basically, it was a funny little scene there at the end where he says, you'd stand for me. He said, and what if you do fall? And then imagine the look on Father's face as you fall.
And they both laughed.
Yeah, they laughed, but then Tyrion looked at him like, "What? You right? Come on now."
Yeah, like, that would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
But no, he said, looked at him like seriously, like he like half a second, like looked at him like, "I'm serious."
Yeah. Oh, you took it to mean that he meant.
Well, that little look that he said that, like after they laughed about it, they kind of stared at each other for a second, like.
Yeah.
Tyrion was like, come on.
I mean, I thought that he was they were both acknowledging that, yes, that would be some poetic justice for their dad.
Yeah, but then I think as desperate as Tyrion is at that moment in time, he's like looking like,
he's like,
please say yes.
Please? Maybe?
Right. Well, then he says something about Sir Meryn being her champion, which is the knight that beats Sansa Stark.
Sir Meryn?
Tyrion said. He said, "Who's Cersei's champion?"
Oh.
Sir Meryn. I'd love to see Bronn gut that child-beating fool or something like that.
Yeah, like that.
And he's like, "No, not Sir Meryn."
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the next scene.
Oh, okay, and that's where we see the new actor playing the third fucking actor playing the Mountain.
And his third line in the entire show, he says. But Cersei cuts to her walking up on him, chopping up. The note I took was, scene 2 is the Mountain hacking up useless people and Cersei speaking.
Yeah, fair enough.
Basically what it was. Cool camera shot there, though.
Which one?
Because I really don't think that dude's quite as big as he needs to be. Because
he's 6'9".
Is he really?
Over 400 pounds.
Oh, okay.
He stood next to Cersei, and she looked like Vince McMahon against Andre the Giant.
Well, that was the camera shot that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because they had it from like down looking up, and they were standing in front of a wall, like a brick wall. And Cersei's like down here, and his head is like above the brick wall. Like they're standing, like the height difference is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a cool shot. Very short scene. He had one line, I think. Who am I fighting?
Yeah, and would it matter?
She said, doesn't matter, and he just shakes his head.
Yeah.
That's the only line.
So, I mean, basically at this point in my head, everything's falling into place that Jeremy's been saying since we started this season.
And I was, we had a discussion about this. I want to defend myself a little bit because you said I've been putting contextual clues because I watched the other seasons.
You've watched them far more than I have.
I understand that, but that has no bearing on what when I made that prediction is when I heard or after King Joffrey died. That Oberyn was going to step up. And I hadn't known anything about Prince Oberyn until the episode before that. So, like, rewatching, I made that prediction before I rewatched anything. So, like, that doesn't really count.
Oh, so you don't learn any of the information about his sister or any of that shit until he says it anyways?
Until he says it, unless you, like,
I was trying to think if there was some mention of it earlier.
I knew about the sack of King's Landing. I didn't necessarily know that was his family until he mentioned it.
Okay.
But so I mean, like I don't know. I think it was a pretty good call.
Yeah,
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like all the chips lined up there.
Yeah.
They gave you the information that was necessary to figure that out right away in this season, and yes. I didn't put that shit together. I feel like I'm no good at making predictions on this show. Like we stumble across
I'll tell you
some
what,
stuff at
this
the
end.
Like
one of the, I'm proud of myself because it's like one of the first ones I've actually been right about. Like any other prediction I've made on this show has gone horribly wrong.
Well, good job.
Yeah.
Well played.
Right. Yeah, so that was a really short scene with her and the mountain. Okay, then we go to then it switches. Go from him to his brother. It goes to Arya and
and the Hound.
The Hound.
Okay.
Who are kind of they come across like a ransacked, looks like barracks or a farmhouse or something like that. And
it was clearly had been on fire. If not, was still burning. Yeah.
So they come across the old man. And they talk about the old man talks about how there's like no balance in the land anymore. It's just like bad guys just pretty much running free and doing whatever they want. Like it was almost like an ode to the Starks, like saying that they kept better care of this land.
So is that why it was supposed to mean something when she said that she was a Stark, and he didn't really react? I mean, I didn't quite get that scene. That part.
Well, you know what what I took from that is I even took a note here. That said Arya says her own name for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
She says, I'm Arya Stark.
It didn't even sound like she said the R.
Arya. Well,
it sounds like Arya.
At the beginning, when this show first started and first came on, like, it was a couple few times of them saying Stark before I realized it was Stark.
As
like
opposed to
stock. Like I was like stock. Are they
Stock?
saying what are they saying?
Like STOCK?
Yeah, like I had
Stock.
to like listen until I finally learned they were saying Stark.
Well, they have a bit of a British accent.
They do. Right.
Which is great that they've taken on different parts of the world's accents in different areas of this show.
But then after that, some crazy dude jumps out of the bushes and jumps on the hound's back and bites the shit out of his neck.
Yeah, that was very Walking Dead. I was like,
well,
holy shit.
for half a second, I was like, is this a White Walker guy? Like jumping out at him? What the fuck was this? You know? Yeah. And he's like snaps his neck and throws him on the ground, and then she turns around and sees the guy that was in the cage. From before.
See, those are the kind of connections that I haven't. I feel like I need to watch the whole show.
I mean,
again.
dude, seriously, he had like 3 seconds.
I know, but still, like I know every extra character in Lost. I've seen it that many times. You know what I mean? Like you could say, "Oh, Mac from It's Always Sunny." Where was he? He was on season 3. He was standing in front of the doors that led to nowhere, and got shot.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he came back in season 6.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like little shit like that where I feel like I don't know these.
He hasn't been in since the beginning of season 3 when it was an area. He was in the cage with Joaquin.
Okay.
Her face changing buddy.
Okay.
That she made friends with. He was in this. Remember he told her he was, if I catch you, fuck you with a stick or something like that. He told her. He thought she was a little boy.
Yeah.
But man, with a quickness. I like that little interchange there where he was like, what about this one? Is he on your list? She's like, no. I don't know his name.
You can't.
And the way he asked him, well, what's your name? And he says his name. She's like, thanks. And immediately whips out her sword and stabs him in the heart.
Yeah.
I mean quick as hell. She's turning into a quick little killer there. What are we having trouble over there?
I don't know.
Am I too close? Should I back up a little bit?
It keeps crackling for some reason. I'm just fucking... I get so angry with it when it's technical bullshit.
Yeah,
like, we should be able to just sit here and do this talk, and I shouldn't have to fucking worry about stupid garbage in the background, equipment malfunctions and shit. Like,
oh well, we missed a kind of a little point right before that. He stabbed the old man in the heart, kind of put him out of his misery because he was stabbed in the stomach. Which, like, if you know anything about that kind of stuff,
he said that shit's that's not.
Well,
it's
called gut shot. Like when you get shot in the stomach like that, it's hard. You can't really come back from that. Like,
and it's slow,
slow and super painful.
Yeah.
So like he stabbed him in the heart, and he looked at Arya and said, "That's how you kill a man."
No, that's where the heart is what he said. And then she fucking stabbed the other dude right in the heart.
But he said that's where the heart is, and that's the best way to kill a man. Yeah. He even said that. But yeah, then right immediately after that, she took that information and
put it to good use.
Right, put needle right through dude's heart. And like, it's funny how he didn't even react because, I mean, it's funny. Like I thought about that. I was like, why didn't he even like react? Like you're standing in front of a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and he wasn't expecting that.
Oh yeah.
Her to rip out her sword that fast and stab him in the heart like that. The dude standing and looking there wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
He was keeping an eye out on the giant guy with the big fucking sword. You know.
Yeah, I know. You're looking at the guy with the half-burned face.
Right.
And fucking...
the little girl pulls out a sword and stabs you in the gut.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that one coming.
Right. Well, my note was a cool scene. She's quick.
Yeah, I mean, she whipped that right out.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, when we were at the beginning of the season when we were talking about her, we were leaning towards her being, turning, getting more and more quote unquote evil. Not necessarily evil, but you know what I mean, like going down a darker path.
Yeah.
And I don't get that vibe still from her. Yeah, I still get the vibe that she's a good person.
Well, I wasn't saying that she was going to be a good person. What I'm saying is like she's going to learn how to be a killer.
Yeah.
Like a stone cold killer, but still have her values and be seeking revenge,
Okay.
I mean, you can already see her. Like the way she whipped, that was the fastest you've ever seen her. She whipped up that sword fast as fuck and killed the guy. After that, we go to Jon Snow.
Okay.
I thought my note was funny. So I'll read my note. Jon Snow's balls busted publicly by leader douche. Snows gives idea how they should defend the wall by sealing the tunnel. A little back and forth ensues, and again, balls busted publicly by leader douche.
Well, yeah, leader douche. You've finally taken to using Siri for the note process, haven't you? Because you clearly wouldn't have typed by leader douche twice. You definitely said that, right?
I said most of that.
Yeah.
I would type some of the stuff, and like, why am I typing? You didn't just say it all up.
Yeah, you have no idea how hard it is to like sit there and. I mean, you almost have to pause.
I do now.
The episodes, and you have to pause them to write down.
Dude, seriously, I had two two TV shows I wanted to watch this morning when I was up. I wanted to rewatch Game of Thrones and then watch the latest episode of Da Vinci's Demons.
Yeah.
But
Game of Thrones
took
monopolized
the whole 2 hours.
Hey, you have no idea what a relief it is for me to not have to have watched it again. We watched most of it again yesterday, last night, because the wives missed the first 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
And we went back and started again, and I feel like I saw I know the episode pretty well. This is one of the first ones where I feel like the stuff sunk in a little bit.
So
Jon Snow, he just got punked out by the dude who's talking. It was all just about the fucking...
It's a power play. It's all politics. It's just being a dick with this guy. And he's got the other little asshole in his ear, his little right-hand man that he walks around with.
Yeah.
And he's got him in his ear, feed him all kind of bullshit. Jon Snow's going to have to kill that guy.
Oh, I think that'll happen. Yeah,
because
for sure.
If he doesn't, they're going to be screwed at the wall. I like that interchange when he was like, the gates at the tunnel won't stop them. You ever seen The Giant?
Oh, yeah, where he's the only one really that has.
Right.
Because he went with the wildlands or whatever.
And he said, it's 4-inch rolled steel, and it won't stop them.
Yeah, not for a second.
Right. So we should seal the tunnel, fill it with ice and water,
and rock and sticks and shit like that. He was saying,
so they can't come through the tunnel.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
I mean, no shit.
They could always dig it back out, right?
I love these douchebags in these shows and episodes or whatever the hell you're watching that just don't listen to the guy that
clearly
knows about the impending danger or whatever there might be, and just totally write them off. And then they're the one who gets the first one. The Giants. If Jon Snow doesn't kill that guy, I hope the Giant pounds his ass into the fucking ground.
Oh, I know, right?
Post,
He walks through the tunnel and then just immediately grabs him.
Right.
And
First one he grabs just pounds him into the ground like a nail.
I mean, there wasn't much to that scene beyond
besides
him offering his suggestion.
Well, they came back and he told it was first them getting back, and he was told him to in front of everybody, go put that beast in the cage. He doesn't belong here. Talking about Ghost. And then in the mess hall or whatever where they were eating, he called them out again. When Jon Snow said, "We need to do something. Because you got, we're not ready." But other than that, you're right. No, that wasn't much more to that.
Yeah.
It was basically them power playing back and forth, and Jon Snow kind of losing that battle at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know damn well that he's gonna eventually end up running that shit.
Well, that was the Lord Commander's intention to begin with.
Was for Jon Snow.
That's why he took him.
Do you think that was merely because he was a Stark, basically?
I think it was, and you could see
that he's a good dude.
Yeah, he was a good dude, right. He had the same kind of moral code or whatever.
He's got those
Mormont
good
might have
looks, so of course he's going to be a good dude, right?
Right.
Don't we go to Daenerys after?
No, we did one more scene before that. Bronn visiting Tyrion.
Oh, okay.
Which was
this is like the fucking everybody come in and see him before he's dead.
It was kind of a last visitation, last rites kind of thing.
It didn't feel like they had made any plans in the future, him and Bronn, after this scene. It didn't feel like they were planning on meeting up. Echo,
well, no.
Holy crap, shut it.
You could totally, Bronn said, my days of doing what we were doing are over with. I'm getting married now.
Oh, yeah.
And your sister hooked this all up. Basically he sold out. But then sat there. But see, I was pissed at first. But then he sat there and explained it to him.
Well,
he's like, "What would you do?"
Yeah, of course.
He said, "If you ever," he said, "one time you told me if anybody ever wanted me to sell you out, you'd double their price."
Yeah.
And he said, "What do you want? 2 wives and 2 castles?" He said, "No, one of each. But if you want me to kill the mountain for you, better be a pretty big goddamn castle."
Yeah.
Basically, and then I like how he described it. He's like, "Maybe I could take him." Yeah. Maybe not. He's like, maybe I could dance around and get him off his feet somehow. I don't know, but one misstep, why? And I'm dead.
Yeah, why would
I risk it? And then he made a really good point. The point that made me be okay with the situation when he was like, why would I risk it? He's like, because you're my friend. He was like, yeah. And when have you ever risked your life for me?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair point. Yeah.
And shook his hand.
And yeah.
And he's like, you're a cold, heartless bastard, and that's what I liked about you to begin with. And then he shook his hand. Yeah. I thought that ended really well, even though he sold him out. He didn't sell him out.
He didn't sell Tyrion out.
Right. He sold himself out, basically.
But she absolutely did that to get him to not be there for Tyrion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have anybody.
I just put together right now.
Because she knew that basically he would be his only champion.
Yeah.
At this point, we know Jaime.
Fucker. I wasn't goddamn recording on that thing.
What thing?
On there. On the podcast audio. The good audio. I wasn't recording.
Any of that at the beginning?
It's going out on Google, but not on... you want to just start
dude.
over?
No, I don't want to
we can rush through it. We know all the bullet points now.
No, we can't start over. We're halfway through already.
Yeah?
Yeah.
God damn it. Sorry about the bad audio, everybody. It's shitty fucking Google Plus audio.
Oh, it's been a technical difficulty day.
Right? You have no idea.
It's been a technically difficult
You
day.
have no fucking idea. I opened an episode of Blinkered today to start editing, and just to look at it, really. And I skimmed through it. I'm like, oh, awesome. All it needs really is 2 songs. I just got to put 2 songs in here and then tighten this, edit up a little bit, and done. And I start changing the names in the opening credits because I do it per who's in the episode.
Right.
And so I start doing that, and that's really render intensive. And next thing you know, it uses up all the free space on my hard drive, and my computer just locks the fuck up. So I go to restart it, which it happens. You know what I mean? Normally the program locks up and not the whole computer.
Right.
And then I boot it back up, and that project file is gone. Now the timeline that I edited all that stuff in, gone.
Ugh.
I have to re-edit it from scratch. So that's the kind of day it's been. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's whatever.
Well, whatever.
Continue.
We're here. We're doing it.
We're doing it. Fuck it.
Right.
We do it live. Fuck
so
it.
that's it. Okay. Yeah, that scene ended, and then it goes to Daenerys.
Okay.
Daenerys with
fucking Fabio. That's not Fabio.
Why the like it like
It
every time
so
I see this
annoys
guy,
me.
Like it pisses me off.
I just fuck around about the mountain because that one doesn't really bother me, but this fucking
but this
pisses
dude
me
has
off.
Speaking parts and
Yeah.
like he's like in there, like he was, at least the least they could have done for me was get a guy that looked a little bit like the other
Or
guy.
dye his goddamn hair.
Or something.
Khaleesi's not blonde in real life.
Right.
Seriously, they couldn't have just
Right.
given him a fucking wig?
Well, she basically turns around and kind of.
Was
pissed,
this where
but
he was in his
He
her
was
room?
in her room with the flowers. He said he swam.
your doors are well guarded, but your window isn't.
I swam a
Sorry,
mile.
that was a bad
I swam a mile offshore to get these for you.
Yeah,
She's
don't
like,
do that.
Don't do that. She's being shitty to him, but at the same time being.
Oh, god damn
come
it.
on.
As soon as she saw his wang, she was into
Right.
him. And
Well,
that's
yeah.
bullshit. What if he doesn't even what if he's not even any good at it?
He said he only has 2 talents in the world.
No, for fuck's sake. He was being all fucking Rico Suave.
Well,
Fuck
shit
this
worked
guy.
on
He's
her.
a douche.
Well, she knows it too, though. But she said that in the next scene that they showed them to, which is not
Yeah.
the following scene. Actually, it goes to the Red Woman and Stannis' wife.
I don't want to see her naked anymore.
Who, the Red Woman?
Yeah.
Why does she have to be naked every time she's on screen?
Echo. Hey. People walking by. Worst podcast technically ever.
Hey, go.
Echo, go lay down.
Go.
Bed. Make me have to yell that in the mic. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to see her naked anymore.
He says, "I don't want to be patrolling the streets." He wants to. He tells her to send him to kill her enemies, any enemy, anywhere.
Okay.
So she's basically going to send him to take back some of the cities.
Oh,
Some of the
where
things that- right.
after where that were left in the wake of her sealing, or not sealing, but liberating all of the
Right, and then
the
going
slaves.
back and whatever.
Okay, fair enough. So he's just gonna be a little
And then
errand
she
boy.
says, "Well, do what you're good at and take your clothes off." And douchebag gets naked.
But I don't think they did anything. I feel like she kicked him out.
No,
You
we'll,
think
we'll
so?
get to that because that's in a scene later. It's like the next morning, like he was leaving.
Oh, it was the
and
next
crossed
morning.
paths
I
with
see.
Jorah.
Okay,
And
yeah,
Jorah
yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of pissed, but that's a couple scenes later.
Yeah.
Like that didn't take place right after that. It goes to the naked Red Woman and Stannis' wife. I
Yeah.
definitely don't want to see her naked.
Oh, Stannis' man. I feel so like I feel like what a dick move. It's just I feel like I couldn't be the casting director, like trying to pick the people to play these ugly roles. Because that's
like
kind
Liza and
Yeah.
this chick, right? This chick isn't even as well. Yeah, she's creepy too. She had the
She's
babies.
got those, like, hard
She had
cheekbones
her
and
sons, like
of her shadows.
her
Ugh.
stillborn kids in the pods in her bedroom and all that. Yeah, she's a fucking weirdo too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's in there with the Red Woman, which I thought was kind of an interesting scene, even though she was butt naked the entire time. And it's like, just put some.
Yeah,
fucking
just goddamn Papa
You know,
robe. They don't have
right.
robes in this time. In this world, they
She
don't
did
have
put on a
robes.
robe later on in the scene. But she she's covered up with it. Anyway, well, she explains like the potions and stuff, and like her little thing that's full of all the little potions.
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that.
and how most
she
of them
says
are
that tricks to get people. She said there's one like drop in there, send a flaming column screaming into the sky.
Yeah.
You know, and all these things are to make men believe in the Lord of Light. You know what I'm saying? Like, and trick them into believing. But she didn't say all of them. She said some of them.
She said most.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only reason I really thought that scene was interesting. And she says that they want. She didn't say where they were going. Did you catch?
No, didn't she tell her? Didn't she talk to her about one of the specific ones, other than the column? Didn't she like kind of lead her in some direction with the potions? I thought she was telling the lady to do something.
No, she was saying all of this stuff is a lie. You don't need this.
Oh,
you
okay,
can read the fire on your own, is what she was telling her.
Oh, and then they walked up and looked into the fire. That's
right.
what it was.
And then she said, your daughter needs to come with us. Because she said she wanted her to leave her daughter behind, but I didn't catch where they're going.
Okay.
Yet, so I didn't catch.
Maybe they're
they haven't revealed
omitting that fact.
Right. Well, she said they need the scaly face girl that Devos goes and talks to.
Yeah.
So she's basically saying that's her daughter. She wants her to come with.
Oh,
her.
I see. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, I didn't make that connection yet, and I know those facts.
Right. Then it goes back to right after that short scene goes right back to Jorah walking into Khaleesi's chambers and Dario
douchey.
walking out putting his fucking shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, and she says, "So you see your queen? She's in a good mood," and like walks away from her because he just kept on banging her all fucking night.
Yeah.
I said, looks are exchanged. You know, they kind of.
Yeah. Well, of course
Right.
he gives a shit.
Jorah's been in love with her.
He's wanted to nail her
Right.
from day one.
Jorah and Daenerys argue about her decision to have because she tells him that she's going to have all the slave masters executed in Yunkai by the second sons or whatever.
Yeah.
Or is it the second sons? What are they called?
I have no idea.
Whatever. They're a mercenary group. She's going to send them and take back Yunkai and execute all the masters. Jorah basically talks her out of that.
Yeah.
He uses a saying like, you know, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now if Ned Stark had done the same thing. Because Ned Stark's the one who sent him away for selling slaves. That's why he was banished from the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay.
He caught two men poaching on his land and sold them into slavery, and Ned Stark banished him.
Okay.
So that's why he uses that example. He said, I sold people into slavery. And she says, now you help me liberate them.
I see.
And he said, well, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you
if
Ned Stark had just beheaded me.
So basically saying that there might be some good people out there and to show mercy, basically.
I think that's the whole reason they showed us, was it last week or a couple weeks ago, her talk to that slave guy.
Well, yeah,
about
to
his
the
father.
guy, yeah.
So she says, she talks about him and says, that we're going to use him as an emissary or my representative.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the city and say, here, you have a choice. You know, instead of just killing him or off the spot, she's going to give him a choice.
Okay.
And her cool line for the show is, they can live in my new world or die in their old one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, so basically,
she's
she
going
chose
to
a
give
more
masters,
diplomatic
yeah,
approach. You know, rather than just killing him right away without hesitation, she's going to give him a choice to do it her way or be executed.
Okay, fair enough.
And then I like the little thing where she says, you go tell him I changed my mind. She says, no, wait. You tell him you changed my mind.
Yeah.
You know, which is let him know that you're more important to me than he is. Basically, I think that was her way of saying that.
Yeah, well, she just wanted to. Yeah, I mean, she does. I don't think she wants to tip her hand. I think she likes the douche, and that really, it's like, really.
I think she does kind of like him.
Here's the problem, guy. I got it when it was the blonde douche. I did.
Because he owned the part, though.
Yeah, the way he was around. This guy seems a little too smug, whereas the other guy was more charming about it.
That's what I mean. He was the more ladies' man, kind of smooth character.
This guy's kind of like, oh, I'm the
that.
shit. Yes, look at me.
Like, I don't know. He's too skinny. He doesn't. I don't know. I like the other guy better. Then it goes back to Arya and the Hound, which is another cool scene. She's offering to clean his wound.
Yes.
And
where did he get that? Just in one of the random fights?
The bite where the dude fucking bit him.
Oh,
on the fucking thing.
Jumped
up and bit
I
his
forgot
neck.
that he bit him like that. Yeah,
That's the crazy looking wound was on his shoulder. There.
It was
dude,
weird, and when she poured the water in it, it like flapped.
Did you see that? Like her dude like bit him. That's nuts. But then he goes and tells her the story.
Yeah.
Of how he got. Well, I think she even said something about being alone or something like that, and he kind of like, well, you think you're alone? Like, look what happened to me. My own brother pushed my face in the fire because I took one of his toys, and my dad backed him up and said that my bedding caught on fire. So who's alone here?
Yeah.
You know, which is, I mean, you see him get really vulnerable at that point, like, and it's like that's not something he does. And you know, another interesting part about that scene is he wasn't wearing his armor.
So she could have
That's
killed
the
him.
first time. No, not even that. Think about that vulnerability and not wearing your armor.
Yeah.
It was a scene. Like it's the first scene. I'm pretty sure we've seen
Visual
him.
representation of his.
I'm pretty sure that's the
emotional-
first scene we've seen him at all in this entire
Without
Game of
having
Thrones
anything
without
on.
having that armor
Yeah.
on. You know.
Fair enough, and that shows a pretty big trust considering Arya tried to stab him
Tried to
recently,
stab him just right before.
and
that.
he knows he's on the list.
And
But
he's on the list.
but I think
he's gonna get killed.
I don't feel like she was really going to kill him then.
Well,
like I don't think she thought it would work. I don't know. I think she was trying to prove a point at that time.
Right.
But I don't feel like she could get where she needs to be without him.
Well, I think it's going to be like I think her big turning point, like one of her big turning points, like might be his death, not by her hand, but him getting killed by somebody else or something else happening to where he actually gets killed. And she's
something
and-
bad's gonna
right.
happen to him.
Right, I think so too. I think
It's
so
not
too.
going to be a happy ending.
I don't think so. I really think that's the way that whole scene with him without his armor on and the vulnerability. I think he's maybe be gone by next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, that soon? You think
or
he's
the
on
next
his
couple
way out?
episodes, like by the end of the season. I don't know. I think we're gonna lose some people here by the end of the season, bro.
Yeah, I know.
really
With
think
the
we
stupid
are.
all men must die. You know what bugs me about that is fucking. I don't feel like, and I know this is kind of the idea to give you to where you don't get bored of a character. Like there was too much Joffrey. Like of any character that should have gone a long time ago, I think Joffrey should have gone before he did. But I feel like all the other characters we don't get enough of before they die. Like even like Robb Stark. As much as he pissed me off,
like the whole time he was alive, like he didn't get enough.
Very
of him,
little
right?
of him.
Yeah, very little Robb Stark. I agree.
And it's like, why write such a cool character and then not allow us to get
Well,
to
I
know
guess
that person? Or
maybe because he knew all along what was going to happen to him.
well, yeah, but that's all the more reason to give us good fucking heart and character.
Well, and think of that in the opposite direction. You said Joffrey should have gone far before he did, but think of how much you hated that motherfucker by the time he actually.
No,
did
I
go.
know, but
You know what I'm
if
saying?
he had
So
died at the end of season 2, he would have served his purpose. I don't think he was
True.
that huge of a factor from that point. I mean, he was, but
he just gave the whole looming danger thing in King's Landing.
Yeah,
the whole
like, he
sense
could
of, like,
fucking
snap
just
off or behead
madness.
your fucking family for no reason, you know. After the Arya and the Hound scene, where he finally lets her clean the wound, but I think that's might even be part of it too. He's gonna get sick from that, and that might be one of the
he
reasons
may
why-
just end up. You know what? Calling it right now. She's gonna mercy kill him like the guy that he did in this episode.
He's gonna be all sick and like can't go on, and maybe get wounded because of it during a fight because he's weakened or can't, you know. and
He's gonna get
and she
hurt,
has to-
and she's gonna fatal. She's gonna off him for him.
Good. That's a good prediction. That's a good call.
That's a
I
good.
like that.
It's gotta work like that.
I'll
I mean,
latch onto it with you. I like it. I like that. Then we go to Brienne.
she's
and,
gonna say his name too, right before she does it. It's gonna be
Well, think
it's
of
gonna
this.
be it's gonna be the most respectful of all of her list killings. It's
Well,
going to be done
and I
with
think
dignity,
and she might be crying at the same
Yeah.
time she's doing it. You know,
that one's gonna be a tough one, but I feel like
I think
she's
it's gonna be
do
a tough
it.
one, or it might come like right after he saves her life.
Yeah, that
He's
could
got a guy
happen.
run up behind her, and he hits that guy or takes the blade in the stomach or something like that
Yeah.
because.
And then he's standing there, watch out, little girl, and then
Right.
he gets stabbed from behind or
Right.
something.
Yeah, something like that. I can see that coming. And then he's wounded
But he lives.
fatally and
He
says,
kills that guy and
and
blah,
says
blah, yeah.
you just do it, and like, or he stabs him in the heart. Yeah, I can see that coming. That's a good prediction. I like that one. Then
I
Brienne-
would like it better if he doesn't see it coming from her, and she does it kind of surprisingly, but at the same time he realizes after, like, as it happens, oh, okay, I get it, you know, like he doesn't think
Like,
she's
they're
gonna do it.
sitting- yeah, they're sitting there talking, and he's like in the middle of a sentence or
Yeah,
something.
and
She's
then-
just,
yeah.
she's just right. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That's I don't know, dude. Like that's good. That's a good ending to that little plot line there. I like that.
I like the Hound though. I want him to get more revenge than he's gotten so far. I want him to kill his brother. But he's
Well-
not going to. Yeah, I mean, because what's his name's going to. We
I mean,
just keep
another thing
assuming
is, look,
that.
you gotta go back. See, and sometimes with stuff like that, like I go back to fourth. I go to the like fourth wall,
Okay.
and like they would not have invested all this time and stuff into Prince Oberyn. Like, do you think just to have him killed by a character that's been played by 3 different actors? Like, it doesn't really make any sense.
Okay. However, you could say the same thing about Ned Stark, in the sense that he was basically the main character for the first 9 episodes. As much as there could be a main character, I felt like he was the soul of the show.
He was this,
And
but
then they just took him away, so I don't trust them with anybody anymore.
I mean, dude,
except
honestly,
Tyrion. If they fucking kill him, dude, I don't know. I don't know what would happen at that point.
I don't know if I'd be pretty pissed, dude.
Yeah.
Like, cause I don't.
I would watch still, I guess, but I wouldn't be as invested because I think that's a dick fucking move to kill him off. He's just the best character. There's nobody else that is as entertaining as him.
Like right now is not. I don't think is the proper time.
As much as we've gotten of him, and we've probably gotten the most of him than anybody, I haven't gotten enough of him.
I haven't gotten enough of it. It's not his time to go in the story yet. I don't think it's not. No, I
can't.
No, I don't think so.
He's got to be the ruler of the North.
What, if they shot, he said it.
Yeah.
Do you hear him say it?
Yeah, I know you. I knew yours.
Like that was
perked up.
Oh, it did. I was like, oh, did you hear that? I pointed at you when he said it. I was like, oh, you hear that?
Yeah. I was expecting it.
Brienne and Pod are sitting eating at the inn.
Okay.
These notes got kind of long at this point for some reason. I don't know why. It was the same because I was trying to like.
Just burn through it. I'll shut up.
Because I wanted to make sure you knew
what scene it was
or where they were at.
Okay.
And who the fat kid was.
Yeah, I got through the fat kid was.
I wrote that some extra notes because I wasn't trying to insult you or anything like that, but sometimes
I forget some of the connections, but I did ask that one at the time.
Okay, but the same inn the fat friend stayed at, and when they were with the Brotherhood, the fat kid sits down with them uninvited and begins to talk their ears off about the food they're eating and the ingredients and how it's cooked, and then gets into how he came to be at the inn and they start mentioning the Starks back and forth, and Brienne finally says, "I'm looking for the Stark girls."
Yeah.
It seems like she basically
she's
like
getting a vibe of Stark.
And I'm looking for these girls. Have you seen them? He kind of gets a little scared and walks away. Trying basically to protect his friend.
Well, of course, yeah.
But I mean, come on, you can tell by talking to Brienne and Pod that these aren't bad people. You know what I'm saying? So it goes to them. Outside after that.
Okay.
They're leaving. Pot explains to her that he doesn't think she should be telling people
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's where he was like...
He says, listen, people kill people for money
and
around here.
Lannisters
You should not be telling people who we're looking for right now.
Yeah, because the Lannisters will, basically pay to have us offed or you offed or whatever.
Right.
And then fucking
Enter
dude...
fat kid from behind.
Yeah, fat
Comes
kid.
in and ruins that whole thought.
Exactly.
Right. He comes out with the he says Brienne looks like she could be trusted, and I didn't know any signs of Stark, but I knew Arya.
Yeah. She was like she's presumed dead since her dad's head was
beheaded. Nobody's seen her since her dad was beheaded, and
she's presumed dead. Yeah, right. But she's not. She was very much alive when I last spoke to her.
Right.
And take this fox or something,
it's
right?
The wolf.
Oh, that was a wolf. Okay.
He baked her one before, and it was real crappy looking, and this one.
It was
awesome.
real, like it almost looked like a pig or something, didn't it? Remember, it was real fat
wolf.
and.
The first one looked all funny, yeah, and she was like.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
So that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
He's come into his own, I think, is what they're saying there.
Right. He's having a good time. You hear how he was talking about the food, like you only talk passionately like that about something you love, and he loves cooking and food and all that shit. So he was about his kidney pie or whatever he was feeding them. Then it goes to Pod and Brienne are walking their horses, trying to decide basically where they're going next.
Okay.
Because they're not really sure what to do. So Pod, his usefulness comes about here in this scene by being with Tyrion so long. Tyrion told him who was married to who, which house and who hates who.
Yeah.
So he knows who could be where or why they would go there or why they wouldn't go there because they.
He's got a lot more context than she does.
Exactly. So he says Sansa. It's a good possibility that Sansa would be with her family
at the Eyrie.
Yeah. So Brienne's headed there.
And they just left King's Landing. So next stop, Eyrie, according to this.
Dude, like if you really look at the map.
I mean, I'm sure it's not this close.
No, it's not close at all. Like it's really not. No.
Is it the north? Is the
Like,
Erie in the
they
north?
might be halfway.
Okay.
Like Brienne and Pod might be halfway.
Well, they said it was going to take weeks,
right.
so
But
it
I think
doesn't
that
feel
they
like
were
a
sitting
week.
there like at the fork in the road trying to decide which way to go.
Yeah.
And she said, well, we could go this way or to Erie. She said, are you sure about this? He said,
Oh,
no.
okay, about the Erie thing.
Right, so
I
think
didn't
they're-
know
I
that they
think-
knew where they were going
I
at
think
that
they're
point.
headed to the Erie.
Okay. Well, yeah, of course
Right.
they would be. If they know that if he thinks that's where she is, I think Brienne has a good enough vibe about Podrick to realize that, yeah, I think she trusts him. And I think he's not steering her wrong.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Pod's a good dude.
Yeah.
I don't think that dude doesn't got an evil bone in his body.
Plus, he's got massive dong
He's
for
just
her.
got right, he's the one that can
He's
handle
the
her with
exactly.
the
Wait till she figures that out.
massive bone. She's going to be a completely different
That's
person.
going to be a scene.
Man. I put he said Sansa would be with her relatives in the Erie, which he is correct about. So they seemingly decided to go that way.
Okay.
There's no signs or anything, so I couldn't really tell you.
Yeah.
But then the next scene goes into the next scene is my favorite scene in the episode.
What is that?
Tyrion in the dark, hearing the footsteps, and the door opens.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's Prince Oberyn.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I like this guy so much, but from the very first time I saw him on screen, I liked him. Right
Okay.
away. And he's just struck me as a cool character. I like his whole demeanor. I like how collected he is, even though he's burning with the rage and hatred for these people that did this to his family.
Yeah.
He's just
Well,
kept it
I
nice and
think
even keel, nice and cool.
I think he realizes that there's nobody else that is as invested in his revenge as himself. You know what I mean? So
Right.
he's willing to patiently, like there's not like other families seemingly that are like waiting for him to come back right away. Like he's got time
Yeah.
to play this out right. He's not gonna fuck this up. You know what I mean? He's gonna look at all the
I
situation.
think
Feel.
that
I don't think
this-
he came with a plan other than he was going to formulate a plan.
Right, but no, but his only plan was, I'm going here to get revenge.
Well, that's what I mean. But
and
he
I'll
didn't
figure
know the
out
details.
How I'm going to do it when I get there.
Exactly.
And now this whole situation is played into his favor.
Yeah.
But the story he tells.
But maybe he worked it into his favor. Maybe he knew that's kind of how it was all going to go. Maybe there's stuff
well,
that
he
we
didn't know
didn't
the king
see.
was going to die. Are you talking about from that point?
Well,
from
yeah,
the point
from-
when Joffrey was killed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he kind of made. I think the fact that he kind of got not buddy with Tywin, but where he was talking to him as if he was somebody important, like he was pretending Prince Oberyn was acting as if he were important.
Okay.
And then Tywin started almost taking him that way, and then included
Well, he
him and
was
put him on the
important. They knew
council
that
for.
He was important when he got there.
Oh, they need Dorne. That's
They
right.
need
I forgot
Dorne.
that they
knew
need
that
them.
Prince
yeah.
Oberyn was one of the greatest warriors in Westeros.
I see.
Like, he was well renowned. They know who he is.
Yeah.
My favorite part about the scene
Uh-huh.
is the little look we get into their childhood with Cersei and the story. He says,
Yeah.
I love the way they
The
lead
first
into it.
time
Like,
we met.
No, but the way Tyrion leads into it, he says Cersei has wanted this for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Oberyn says, we've met before.
Yeah.
So basically saying, you have no idea how long she's wanted this.
Yeah, exactly.
And he tells her this story about, the whole way we were on our way to Casterly
This is the
Rock.
episode of people being alone, guy. Fucking Shay turned on Tyrion. Jaime basically, in his mind, I'm saying from his perspective, Shay turned on him. His sister wants him dead for a murder she knows he didn't commit.
Right.
The dad wants him dead, always has. Now Bronn wouldn't even take up his case. Jaime wouldn't take up his case.
See, they
So you want to talk about people being alone, like
The Hound.
like the Hound,
Yeah.
and who else was
Arya,
alone?
we were talking
Yeah.
about being alone. And
Yeah. So everybody, it's kind of
Yeah.
a theme here where a
In
lot
the
of people
episode.
are alone.
Sansa even kind of being alone
Yeah.
on her own there in the Erie. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's well picked up.
They're,
I like that.
I think that's they're kind of theming the episode in that way,
Right.
subtly.
But I don't know. The whole story struck me about how cruel she has always been.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
The fact that
just-
somebody didn't put a foot in her ass when she was a
well,
baby,
that's the thing,
Jesus
it's like-
Christ.
Discipline your children.
When they had heard about the monster, and he had one red eye and claws, and his head was twice as big as his body.
Yeah, so they're the ones spreading those shitty fucking rumors.
When they unveiled the freak, he said, the disappointment was overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, he said at first, you were the biggest disappointment.
Right.
Before he told him any of the details.
He did say that. And then he said, no claw, no red eye.
No tail between the legs.
No,
I thought they were talking about his
pink
dick.
cock.
Yeah.
And he says, your head was a little large and your arms were a little small, but
You were just a baby.
he said, I looked at Circe and said, that's not a monster. It's just a baby. And she said, well, he'll be dead soon. He killed my mother. And he said he pinched his cock. She thought he was going to pull it off.
Yeah, he pinched it so... God damn.
Until her brother told her to stop. Jamie told her to stop. And then he's like, what about what I want? Oberyn.
Yeah.
He said, what, it's all about what she wants. What about what I want?
Oh, because he assumed that he was going to be... Or, well...
The way he led into it, just like he's like she's wanted you dead for a long time, my friend. But what about me?
Yeah.
What about what I want and what I'm here for?
Yeah.
And he says, I've come here because all the people that wronged me are here.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Sir Gregor Clegane.
Yeah.
And the imp's kind of looking at him like, what are you saying here, buddy?
Yeah.
And he turns and he says, I'll be your champion. I love the gasp in his voice, the imp's voice. Oh my God, thank you. I don't have to fight the mountain.
It may have been one of those gasps, like you ever get the gasp right before you cry? Or when you're trying to stifle a cry, like just the flood of emotions that must have hit him right then.
He was not about, trying not to cry in front of Prince Oberyn. Relief and...
Like,
I have
Jesus,
a chance. Somebody's got my back.
I can survive.
Out of all these people that have turned on me, somebody here has my back. Because somebody completely I would never have expected.
God, which makes me think he's not going to survive, guy. The way they're setting it up on this show, I'm just saying, it feels like they're setting it up to look like he's going to get out of it, and then, like you said, somebody just runs up and fucking stab.
Yes.
How has that not fucking happened to him before? Other than the fact that he's a Lannister. I guess it's because he's not that evil. He's not like an evil bastard.
Right. Nobody fucking hates him like that. Well, now they do because of this public shame.
The rich people hate him.
Right.
The people in power hate him. None of the commoners seem to hate him. He's not a cunt to people. He treats people nicely, right?
I mean, there was a scene where they called him the Demon Monkey. The people of King's Landing, when he was the Hand of the King, they called him the Demon Monkey.
Well, they're just assholes then.
Well, I mean,
that's just bullies. That's bully mentality.
I'm the more and more I talk it out, and then I don't know, just I really hope that that's not where they're going with it. I'd be really disappointed, but.
I mean, if it's a fitting end, fine, but I don't feel like he should be born into this world alone and go out of it alone. I don't feel like he deserves that.
I don't think
that can't be his character arc. His character arc can't be you kill your mother on your way in, you're ostracized from everybody your whole life, and then at the end everybody turns on you again, and your family is your undoing, basically. I mean, Jesus, what a shitty life.
What a shitty ending to John Locke. I mean, really, it's like...
you didn't know it at the time, either.
You didn't know it at the time, but after you found out, so what, he was dead on the beach? That was it? Yeah. That's the end of John Locke. That was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing with that.
Absolutely.
But I would hate to see him go right now. I don't feel like it's his time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like
to be fair, John Locke was involved until the end.
Well, he was. His was.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Terry O'Quinn was.
Right.
I don't want to see Tyrion go.
I don't want to see him go.
I mean, to be honest, Cersei and Tywin and stuff, they can all go.
Don't you feel like they should give something? Like the good guys should get one so far?
Well, has there not been that at all yet?
Not really, man.
Has there been no victory?
Besides, Jon Snow.
Weren't we rooting for
Crasher's Keep?
No, we were kind of rooting for Stannis and them at the time.
A little bit. Because it was the Lannisters were the wrong ones. They were the ones who had the bastard kid, the incest kid. Joffrey was king.
Yeah.
We wanted Stannis to win that battle.
Is that the end of it? No. What did we end on? Are we about the last scene?
That's the scene right before the last scene.
Okay.
That's where we get to
So what was the last
The
scene? I
last
forgot.
scene was in the Erie. With Sansa
Oh, yeah,
building the
yeah,
snow
yeah.
castle.
Yeah, and that was it. Reminded me of fucking Frozen. Do you want to build a?
Do you want to build a snowman?
But what was it? What is it? What was it called? A sky something?
Oh, do you want to build a moon door?
Yeah.
A moon
Do
door?
you want to build a moon door?
I mean, like this little douchebag kid, even like in this scene, kind of revealed himself to be on the same level of psychopath
as Joffrey.
As Joffrey.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
right.
absolutely. This
Absolutely.
dude is just as douchey, and
I mean,
he's just not as evil
He
yet.
might not be as cruel.
Yeah,
as like
that's
out
what
and
it
out
is. Sorry,
evil,
he is
he's
evil. Cruelty. He hasn't learned that
psychopath.
quite yet.
Right.
He's definitely a psychopath.
Right. I wrote that comes in and starts asking her, and at the same time revealing himself as a psychopath similar to Joffrey.
Yes.
Except he just likes to throw people out of a hole in the floor.
I know, right? How do you make people fly?
Right.
We don't. You
Well, did hear what he
fucking
said? Like,
psychopath.
he was like, how do you make people fly? Anybody that bothers you or that you don't like? Like, really, dude? Like, wow.
Just anybody that pisses you off once,
Yeah,
huh?
you're a fucking...
The fact that somebody, you know what I mean? I know it's not the real world, but the fact that somebody would allow their kid to be that fucking self-absorbed sickens me. That somebody
Even
hasn't
watching it
disciplined
on a
that kid.
show.
When she fucking bitch slapped him, oh, that was
Well,
great.
she slapped him, but then Baelish's reaction to it was even better.
Yeah, her
When
mom
she said,
should've
I hit
done
him, I shouldn't have done that. He was like, no, you shouldn't have. His mother should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of showed that maybe he's not. Think about this. Maybe
Who?
Baelish. Maybe
Okay.
Baelish isn't a bad dude.
Listen, I've never said that.
Because I kind of got that vibe as this season was going on that at least you were perceiving him to be a bad guy or like
Me?
well because of the John Aaron thing and like that. But I feel like maybe he's
I
that
never
smart
said
that he
was the
figured
bad
that
guy.
out.
I said that he was been the cause of all this. He's been the one. I never said he was the bad guy.
No, I didn't
He's
say
been
you
the
did.
one
I just-
manipulating this entire situation from the beginning.
Yeah. Well,
We
maybe he
always
kind
thought,
of
like,
saw
he was
this
just kind of
coming.
this little side dude, but turns out to be this major player.
What
like,
if he ends up in the fucking throne? You know what I mean?
That's what he wants.
Well, duh. So
Right.
does ballless, and that's not gonna
So
happen.
do you think the kiss, like she kind of pushed away from him at the end, but she gave into it at first? Do you think she pushed away because, oh, like this guy's old and creepy, or he's married to my aunt?
Well, I think I mean clearly he outright said it in this that he's more into Sansa than he was into the mom at this point. He basically outright
But
said that. He
more
said, "You're more
beautiful
beautiful than she ever
was,"
was."
right.
Yeah. So I think for sure he wants to be with her. I think obviously if Tyrion makes it out, then that's all going to come back to there's going to be a confrontation between those two because he's going to be trying to be with Sansa or with his wife, with Tyrion's wife. Baelish has already at this point kissed Tyrion's wife more than Tyrion's action than he's
has.
gotten.
So, but you know what though? Like I think you even said it on last week's podcast, or we've talked about it before. That you said that you think that she's going to choose Tyrion over him.
Yeah, I think it
In
will
the
come
end,
down to those.
yeah.
That's what it'll be. He'll start heading north because I think he will end up going to the wall, or at least be thinking he's going to the wall. I think they're going to try to send him off.
The trial by combat, though, bro.
You really think
is,
that? Oh, that's
like,
it.
if
He's just
he
free to leave.
loses-
He's not gonna fucking stick around King's Landing anymore.
Well, no.
I think he's gonna go find
this is-
Sansa.
I think you're absolutely right that this is like if he gets free, his number one mission is to go find his wife.
Yeah.
He's gonna go on and find Sansa. Well,
Which
because
is
now
so-
Shay, he's done with Shay. Like fuck Shay. Like he's.
In all the things that I said, I just thought she was gonna die for him. I never, like honestly, I never saw that one coming.
Didn't see it coming. Either.
Never for a
Her
second.
turning on him like
her
that.
just being honestly turning on him. I thought she would be fucking around. I thought she would be doing something to
Help him.
yeah.
Like, it'd be like a plan, but no, she
exactly.
turned on
She
him.
was literally just like this piece of shit, and it's like,
Right.
what? Really, bitch?
Right.
Really?
Right.
God damn.
Well, that's
Bitches
what-
be crazy.
bitches in Westeros.
Don't
are
fall in
crazy.
love with whores,
Right. Basically, right.
right?
That's all his whole life.
What was the last thing we saw in this episode? Because I remember it being. Oh, it was. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I see.
yeah.
We're getting there.
So we're getting there. Well, after that kiss, it goes
Which,
to the background.
which of course, that's one of those timings that piss me off because, god damn it,
You knew that she was gonna catch him.
Community made reference to the episode where Abed was talking about was playing the radio and he was sitting there just humming the song and they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, in reality, we wouldn't hear this at the exact moment we sat down and turned on the radio. That would be too coincidental."
Oh, that was the one where he was doing the horror movie.
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
but it's just like that's. No. What are the odds that the one time he tries to kiss her, she happens
She's
to see it?
standing in the background.
Unless that was his plan.
You know,
Unless he tried to do that to get her by the door to throw Sansa out, and then he knew that by him professing his love, she would do all that. You know what I mean? Like she would come to him.
I think you just nailed it.
What?
You just nailed it.
That
was his intention all along.
That to get it
he
seen.
knew she was there. That she
to
would
try to
watching.
get
He
rid
knew
of
it.
that bitch. Yeah.
He
So
I'm sorry, but like now
they haven't
after,
thrown Robin out yet.
Like
he doesn't know yet.
Like right, he doesn't know.
That's
yet.
awesome.
Like, after watching Baelish and learning all that he's done so far, you can't tell me that he's doing anything on the seat of his pants, bro.
Oh yeah, it's all been planned.
Like I think you just put it out there right there that he planned that.
Okay.
Her seeing them kiss. And then
because otherwise it's too stupidly movie coincidental.
Right. Well, see, like, I think I'd rather just even if they don't come out and I'll say that, then
I'm going to assume that.
I'm going to assume that he planned it. Right.
From here on out, that's what happened. Fact.
Right. That's
Maybe the book tells you. Some douchey book person want to tell us about that? You want to just tell us? Douchey
I've
book
heard that
person?
part wasn't in the book.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that.
Good.
But I heard the Snow Castle part wasn't in the book.
I like that stuff isn't in the book. That
Dude,
makes me so happy. So happy.
I don't know. Like I got mad at Robert today. Like I feel like I can't even talk to him about it anymore.
No, you can't talk to
he
book
just starts,
people.
He won't just talk to me about what's happening on the show. He's always got to go to the book. I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. I say, fine. Then dude, I was like, he'll like say something like not spoilerish, but like
enough that you don't want to know about it.
I'm like, dude, listen. I don't want you even to tell me what to look for. I don't even want to. I don't want to know.
Oh, be looking for
no, not
in
that.
This
like,
scene. Be
not like
for
that. Or be ready or something like that. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No, I don't want to be ready.
I don't want to know that I have to be ready.
Exactly.
I'm ready.
I don't want to know that.
I was born ready.
Right, I was born that way. You don't need you to tell me that. So yeah, but then it goes into them in their little the moon door room.
Yeah.
And they're
basically immediately
She
confronts Sansa.
But Sansa thinks that it's about her smacking.
Oh yeah.
Robin. Right away.
Well, because it literally just happened. Like she kissed Baelish kissed her. She walked in the other room, and there she was, and it was like, oh, okay, that's convenient.
Well,
Everybody's
Sansa had gone and like taken off the stuff. Like she didn't have all of that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the gloves on, she was outside in. You know?
I got the impression that she just like that was the next room she walked into, and it was just like, oh, hey. But so she would be thinking more about the slapping the sun, and there's no way she would have seen the kiss. You know, I don't think she considered that for a second.
Right.
And yeah, so she's thinking Robin and what's this crazy bitch gonna do?
Right, because I slapped her son.
Yeah.
Right. So she goes. She confronts her. Like you said, she confronts her right away. Doesn't even try to hide about it.
Yeah, it's just
Then
like I never should have done that.
Screaming the confession about what they've fucking done. She said.
Oh yeah. She starts screaming
husband-
about John Aaron and all that shit.
Her husband,
Yeah,
my husband, my father,
yeah,
my sister, Kat Stark,
yeah.
and all these people that got in her way or whatever between me and Peggy. Her father was the
Wait a
leader.
minute. I don't think Kat Stark necessarily was.
Not
I
killed,
mean,
as not directly by her. But
okay, set in motion with the letter.
With the letter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Something that led to her
we had
demise.
this whole
Yeah.
thing about the thing with her family. You know, if this wasn't said, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
None of the subsequent stuff happens. So if it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's the same thing. If none of that letter that wasn't sent, if none of that stuff happens,
Yeah.
that they set in motion with King or with John Aaron dying.
Yeah, then
like,
that's
blah,
the
blah, blah,
original
we're not
event.
watching-
That's the
we're
original
watching-
event in this story.
Right.
In the story that we're seeing, we're in the land of Westeros, but we're not telling the tale of Westeros. I don't think we're getting this particular tale, and the tale starts with their initial whatever they're doing, Baelish
Well, no,
and
there's
her.
a lot more story to Westeros. So the history.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but this is the
getting
story we're
the
getting
story
told.
Of these particular people, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that has to come full circle by the end of this. That it's got to come out that somebody did or didn't do that, or you know what I mean? I mean,
You think,
well, they're
you
gonna
mean
die.
Like Baelish is going to be outed. Like
He should be outed. He should be held accountable for that. That would be a good ending to his character, if he gets held accountable by Tyrion, but not in any kind of cruel way, just in a just way.
Oh, you mean like for?
that he pulled. He
Oh, come on, man! If he gets caught, or see, the only person that knew all of that could speak against him like that, I guess, besides Sansa.
is Sansa,
Well, now she heard
Tyrion's
him.
wife. I mean,
She just heard all that, but does she really know what to take from all that? If the lady was screaming at her, threatening to push her out of a hole, I mean, like, come on, like.
didn't they already?
Wasn't
That already brought up in some way or another? Oh, that was just between those two.
Yeah, and then he kissed her to shut her the fuck up. Remember? And Sansa had already left the room,
Okay.
but then she spoke of it again, and I think that was her last chance.
Oh yeah.
Just he heard
But
her saying that. to her.
goddamn, the fact that Sansa got so close to that fucking moon door.
I mean, like we said yesterday, I think we both said after watching it, like we would have been okay
If she got pushed out?
Like it would have been her. It would have been a little weird, like wow.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
holy
but
fuck. But I was ready to embrace that.
I
if that
was ready
happened.
to take like, okay, is Sansa gonna die right here?
Yeah.
Maybe she is. I was ready to to handle that, but
Still
good
not
ending.
Tyrion.
Good ending though.
Yeah, her getting thrown out, and
Well,
then
I've only ever loved one woman in my life.
yes, and she was like,
Oh, your sister. And he
Yeah.
shoves her out the fucking moon door.
yeah. I mean, good fucking ending. This was the first episode of the season to me that was too short, and it was technically 52 minutes, so it was like
Yeah, it's
8 minutes shorter than normal. So
Yeah, that
like
sucks.
So
You give me every fucking minute
exactly.
that I could possibly get out
We
of
should be
this.
getting a solid goddamn hour
60 minutes.
every time. I'm just looking at it because it
Right.
makes it look like I'm looking at the camera. But yeah, we should have gotten the fact that they don't have enough time to tell this full story, and I still feel like they don't. I don't know if with 20 episodes a year they'd have enough, or if that would be too much.
I think like 13
They could
to
all be
15
filled out,
would have
dude.
been, like,
20 would be
perfect.
fucking awesome. 20? God
I
damn
was
it.
thinking about that too. Like I was talking to Jenna about that stupid Once Upon a Time show yesterday.
Yeah. The fact that they
And-
brought Frozen into it is kind of a cheap ploy.
Well, that
What do
was,
you think
it was a
about that?
money grab, absolutely.
I mean,
Tried to get people
I'm
back
cool
watching
with it. I would watch
But
it
what
again
I'm
because of
saying
it.
Is
The way
that
they had it
They
planned.
got 24, 25 episodes a season
Yeah.
at 45 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
Granted, there's sets and there's
Oh,
things
their
no cussing.
CGI looks garbage.
Oh my god, it's so
It's
bad.
so
And
bad.
the green screen is
I just
horrible.
want the show to be as good as they want it to be. Like, I know these creators have ideas in their head and want it to play out, but a lot of time it comes off like a bad theater production.
Yeah.
Like, some of the actors just aren't the best, and the
Dude, like that's why I can't handle
Mulan,
watching that
fuck
show.
me.
Like,
Ugh.
seriously, like come on.
get somebody else.
I forget what point I was originally going for.
That they don't have enough episodes of this show.
Right.
I don't feel like we're ever going to get it. I feel like this story, at the end of it, is going to leave me feeling like I didn't get enough, and not where I'm just wanting more. Like with Lost, I feel like I got enough. Like I got the full story they wanted to tell me. But I feel like because this is being interpreted from somebody else's work, I don't feel like we're going to get the full story. I feel like we're going to have to go to the books afterwards in order to get what this dude originally wanted to tell. And
All the stuff, all the little minor details
yeah.
that you were supposed to
But
do.
the only way we would have ever been able to palate that is if we watched the show.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man. As far as like you're right, they gotta be missing some stuff. There's gotta be stuff that isn't there.
That they're
There's
just like,
no
yeah, sorry, we don't-
way They can cover it all.
No.
No way.
And I just hope that...
And from what I understand in the books, sometimes a lot of things happen like
From character
you'll go over the
perspectives.
same event
from multiple people.
from multiple perspectives.
Yeah. So now they're just cutting it
But
together.
in a show,
Yeah.
you're watching everybody's perspective
Yeah.
happen all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, if you're watching, per se, the Red Wedding,
Yeah.
we're watching Kat Stark's perspective and
Yeah,
Robb
we're just not
Stark.
seeing it first person.
We're not seeing it first person, but
or
we're still
hearing
seeing
their inner monologue, which I bet you the books give a
there's
lot
a
of.
lot of that in the books.
A lot of how people are feeling, exposition.
Yes.
They say show, don't tell on TV.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, we don't get a whole lot of that. Enough
But
of
still,
that, I
like,
think. We get enough.
I think some of the actors that are in the show are good enough that they portray a lot of that, the facial expressions and their
By
actual
their body language,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah, I think they do a good job of expressing what they might be thinking. You can get a lot of scenes sometimes where the characters are just kind of like looking at each other, like, and you know exactly what they're saying, or what
Yeah.
they're not saying to each other,
So, any predictions or final thoughts that we haven't gone over? Like I said, I think
I tell you what, here's my prediction. I
Okay.
think that Prince Oberyn is going to win this fight,
Uh-huh.
and I don't think it's going to be close.
Oh, you think
I think he's
just
gonna fucking own the mountain, and it's
What
like,
if it's
he's gonna
like,
end that shit like really quick.
What if it's like the douchey guy with Khaleesi, where the guy came at him on the horse, like that kind of a thing, where the guy came at him on a horse with a joust and he just sliced the horse.
Well, he threw the knife in the horse's face,
Yeah,
and then the
and
horse
then-
fell over and he cut the guy's head off.
Yeah.
Like, simple as that. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like it might be a little longer than that, but like I think the mountains.
Have we seen a trial by? Yeah, we saw Bronn.
Bronn won the
And they
trial
just
by
did that
combat.
right there in that room,
Right there
didn't
in
they?
that room. They chased each other around the room.
So
and
why
fight.
didn't they do trial by combat right then?
Well, that's because it wasn't supposed to be like that. That Liza demanded that it happen right then and there.
Oh, okay, I see.
She said it's gonna.
So
Because
she
he
was
said
just
I
afraid.
called Jamie Lannister to
Yeah.
stand as his champion then, but it would have taken him weeks to get there and
I
free
see.
him.
Yeah.
She said no, this happens now. You
Yeah.
know, so I think this is being a little more handled,
Yeah.
timely fashion. Like Tywin wasn't going to say this is going to happen. right
Nearly
here in the
due
throne room.
process,
Right.
but without any of the actual due process part.
Right. But I don't know, man. I think like Oberyn's going to fucking.
So you think the mountain is gone through 3 incarnations to die immediately, to be that imposing bad guy of the week, basically?
I mean,
Or
like,
of the
he's
season?
been there the whole time.
Yeah.
He really hasn't. He's been mentioned a lot, but no, he hasn't been shown too much.
No.
And that's why I think like to have this douchebag come, unless this guy that they picked for the mountain is now going to be a regular character on the show, like next season,
He can't be.
then I don't see him killing Prince Oberyn. Like I'm going fourth wall on you. I just don't see it happening
Yeah.
in the context.
That's
of,
how
like,
you got to think about
outside
it,
of the show.
though.
Like it can't happen. Like it would make like not a lot of sense for that to happen.
I mean, if they brought in Prince Oberyn for one season, that is also plausible.
That's also plausible too, but
It's not-
I just don't see him getting killed by the mountain.
No, I don't either.
I really think he's going to own the mountain's ass.
I
he's
think
going to kill you.
that
I mean-
sounded really gay. He's gonna own his ass.
He's going to own his ass. Well, he is gay. He's got bisexual. He might like the mountain's ass.
Good call.
Anyway,
Thanks for listening.
I think
guys.
he's going to fuck him up. Anyway, yeah. Good night, people.
Till next week. See you later.